Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report. I'm Rick Heath. With me, Mark Rodgers. And this is the Oklahoma Sports Report Thunder Edition. And we are at the Mattress Place, Southwest 59th between Penn and Western, where you can sleep like $1 million without spending $1 million. Of course, here at the Mattress Place. I'm going to say magic words, though.
Okay.
Number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
I'm glad to see you're thundered up too. You got the logo gear going.
I'm so proud of the Thunder. I am here all thundered up. I went by a couple of guys. I saw Michael Cage today from the Thunder, and he's going, "Man, you're just sporting." And I said, "Hey, you know, when they're the number 1 seed, you got to be. If you're a fan, you got to be loud and you got to be proud." I'm proud of the Thunder this year.
Well, it's been a heck of a season. I don't think anyone projected Oklahoma City to end up with 57 wins and on top of the Western Conference. But there's been a lot of successes along the way, not very many failures. And so let's see what happens in the playoffs. It's going to be fun.
The rest of the season starts now. Okay, I mean, it's great you're the number 1 seed, but nobody's going to remember you're the number 1 seed if you get beat in the first round. You know, and the people on the national media are thinking Thunder are going to get beat in the first round.
Yes, well, it just doesn't work that way very often in the NBA, where you have a team that didn't make the playoffs the year before, that they jump all the way to the top spot. But the Thunder have a really unique situation going on. They've got a lot of young players that really develop quickly. Chet, J-Dub are the 2 guys, again, that are making incredible, as a second and third best player on a team, incredible contributions in their first 2 years of the NBA. So, listen, it's going to be hard to win in the playoffs because the Western Conference is super tough. And I can't wait to see how it works out.
Well, you know, and the play-ins come around. We don't know, the Thunder don't know who they're going to face yet, and they'll play next Sunday. And so it'll depend, but I still have confidence in the Thunder, and hopefully they will come through and at least get through the first round. We'll talk more about that from the Mattress Place when we come back. Come see Paul at the Mattress Place. He is Sooner born and wants to take care of his fellow Oklahomans. The Mattress Place has a nice queen pillow top mattress starting as low as $2.99 and kings for only $3.99. They carry Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and much more. The Mattress Place has a large selection and fast delivery. Located between Penn and Western on Southwest 59th Street. Buy your groceries in your neighborhood, but buy your mattresses at the Mattress Place.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wonder Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. A new wonderful sponsor for the Oklahoma Sports Report, Prohibition Lounge. We were there doing a show not too long ago. What a great place. Great food, great pizzas, great appetizers, wonderful drink specials each and every night, and they feature women's softball. Whenever women's softball is on TV, the Prohibition Lounge on Main Street in Norman will have it. So if you're a women's softball fan and you want great pizza, great appetizers, good drinks, and TVs all over the place showing women's softball, Prohibition Lounge is where you need to go. Prohibition Lounge on Main Street in Norman. Hi friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma-Ted. Alma-Ted uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to neighborhood jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. And welcome back. Rick Heath, Mark Rodgers with the Oklahoma Sports Report Thunder Edition from the Mattress Place. Mattress Place where you can, as I said earlier, get $1 million worth of sleep for less than $1 million. I got great prices here on the mattresses. Thermopedic and Sealy mattresses behind us. Great comfortable mattress. You will be able to have a great night's sleep on one of these mattresses. Just come in, talk to Paul and his staff, and they can set you up with a great night's sleep tonight. So come into the Mattress Place and find a good selection for you. You know what? We talked about the national people, and I think we need to go back to that, because if I've been sampling national media, and I probably shouldn't do that because they don't follow the Thunder like we do. And so they're taking it off the top, like you said, and they're just saying, well, look, this isn't how you do it. You have to pay your dues. You don't just show up and become the number one seed. But what they have failed to realize is the Thunder are number one seed for a reason. I mean, what are they? They're top 5 in offensive efficiency rating and top 5 defensive efficiency rating. You know the other team that's only that way?
Boston.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the national media that really, they sleep on the Thunder, they're not going to sleep well in the playoffs. They're going to need to come see Paul to get one of these fine mattresses in here, because
there you go.
They're going to make it pretty uncomfortable. Oklahoma City didn't appear on television very much before the All-Star break. They made some changes to the national TV schedule, and they appeared a lot more. But again, I think that I've heard a lot of national media say this, and one of Brian Windhorst, who does a good job covering the NBA, talking about how competitive the Western Conference is. And listen, I mean, like it or not, the Lakers and the Warriors are two really good teams that aren't built for the regular season. They're built for the playoffs. They've got a lot of experience, championship pedigree with LeBron, Steph Curry, and those type of players. Those teams may not even be in the playoffs, but they're going to be difficult to beat. And you just start listing the stars in the Western Conference. You start talking about Kawhi Leonard, who's hurt right now, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. The list goes on and on and on before you even get to the Lakers and the Warriors with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Steph Curry. So there's so many good players in the West. There's just no margin for error. Well,
and I was talking to, as I said, Michael Cage earlier, and he was telling me that when the national media had Boston play and they held out Shea and J-Dub, the Thunder went to Boston to play on national TV, and they held them out, and the league were after them. Hey, why are you holding them out? Why are you holding them out? He goes, hey, look, we need to rest them because we need to play in the playoffs. That's when we need to play well. Just because we're on national TV, where were you before?
Right. Well, and that makes sense. And J-Dub had a little chronic ankle injury that he tweaked again in New York, and SGA with the thigh bruise that just wasn't getting right. So I think setting those guys clearly proved to be okay, because there was a slip up by the Nuggets. There's a slip up by Minnesota. They lost at home to Chicago, and that's life in the NBA when you play 82 games. So.
Well, and we'll find out. I mean, the Nuggets, they are the favorite. I mean, if you're betting favorite right now, even though the Thunder finished ahead of them, the betting favorite is Nuggets and then Lakers.
Nuggets, well, in the West.
Yeah,
you're talking about in the West. In the West, it's the Nuggets that's the prohibitive favorite. But after that, you have to look at really we don't know where the Lakers are going to be in the bracket. I mean, they're not going to be a prohibitive favorite if they play the Nuggets in the first round. And you've got a lot of up in the air indecision between Oklahoma City, the Clippers, and the Mavs that are all right there that have maybe the next best shot to unseat the Nuggets. So we'll see how that all plays out. But this bracket of Oklahoma City, whoever comes out of the play-in, the Mavs and the Clippers, these teams look pretty even.
They all do, and you know, and right now, if you're a Thunder fan, what you want to be able to do is just get into that, you know, a good rhythm in that first series, and try to win that one, and then go from there. Anything beyond that, I think, is gravy. Now, a lot of Thunder fans aren't going to agree with me. They're thinking Western Conference Finals or bust. That may be a little bit rich there for that.
It's hard to tell. And again, I don't know which team would prefer Oklahoma City to play in that round, if it is Dallas or the Clippers. But how ironic would it be to have SGA going up against Paul George and the team that traded him, and that Thunder have all these draft picks coming up, and Russell returning to the arena on that Clippers team, and Paul George. It would be special. So
I'd love to have the Clippers show up, because that means they beat the Mavs, and I hate the Mavs. All right, we are at the Mattress Place here, Southwest 59th between Penn and Western. Come in, they got great bargains on the mattresses you need. You can sleep like $1 million and get a great night's sleep tonight. But you got to come in the Mattress Place first. We'll be right back. Experience the unparalleled comfort and luxury of the Mattress Place. Our mattresses are not just fluffy and comfy, they are designed to provide you with the best sleep of your life. The Mattress Place has the comfiest beds on this side of the moon. Say goodbye to sleepless nights and hello to the land of fluffy clouds and unicorns at the Mattress Place. A new wonderful sponsor for the Oklahoma Sports Report, Prohibition Lounge. We were there doing a show not too long ago. What a great place. Great food, great pizzas, great appetizers, wonderful drink specials each and every night, and they feature women's softball. Whenever women's softball is on TV, the Prohibition Lounge on Main Street in Norman will have it. So if you're a women's softball fan and you want great pizza, great appetizers, good drinks, and TVs all over the place showing women's softball, Prohibition Lounge is where you need to go. Prohibition Lounge on Main Street in Norman.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away.
All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam.
You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wonderful spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wonderfolk Gin, Wonderfolk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wonderfolk spirits. Come see Paul at the Mattress Place. He is sooner born and wants to take care of his fellow Oklahomans. The Mattress Place has a nice queen pillow top mattress starting as low as $2.99 and kings for only $3.99. They carry Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and much more. The Mattress Place has a large selection and fast delivery. Located between Penn and Western on Southwest 59th Street. Buy your groceries in your neighborhood, but buy your mattresses at the Mattress Place. Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath at the Mattress Place, where you can come in and find a great selection of mattresses that'll fit whatever you need for your comfiest sleep of the night. Mark, we also talk about OU softball.
Yeah.
OU softball, I'm just going to make a pronouncement. OU softball fans are spoiled.
Are they upset? They lost another game to BYU
Yes.
Here recently. BYU, you have to appreciate just the unadulterated joy that they celebrated on the OU field with, which is not going to make a lot of fans happy. But, you know, what a big upset that was for them to be able to beat OU. So this year they got 4 losses. 2 are unexpected at home, and then 2, I think, to Texas. You can understand Texas has got a really good team this year too. So
well, Texas is number 1 now in the new Softball America poll. OU's number 2. I mean, when they played down there in Austin, there's only one game that was out of hand. It's 8-2 or something like that. Others were just, I mean, 1 hit there, 1 hit, 1 out there. It could have changed it, and OU could have easily got 2 out of 3 instead of losing 2 out of 3. That's the first series they have lost in a couple of years in the Big 12.
It's the first series they lost in the Big 12 since 2011.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot of years. You know what? Uncertainty is where you're gonna get a good night's sleep. You don't want uncertainty about that. But uncertainty is a great thing about sports, is that it creates interest, and you're not just favored to win all the time. And so I think that this OU team has basically just taken a small step back from where they were the last couple of seasons. I don't think it's anything that's something to be alarmed about. We talked about it a lot this year in the women's basketball game, where Connecticut for a long time was dominant in the sport, and Gino Ariema got some respect for saying, hey, look, what we really need is people to raise the level of their game to where we are, and that's going to be better for the sport. And I think you're seeing that as the OU softball team has created so much attention, and with this streak, and they've been so good that other programs are having to step up. Oklahoma State stepped up to try to compete with Oklahoma. I think Texas went and got Mike White from Oregon, and he's done a pretty nice job. And so we'll see. I think there's going to be more competition. That hasn't slowed Patty down from recruiting well and having good players, though.
Well, and they have just been a tad off. And I opened this segment by saying OU softball fans are spoiled. I mean, they lost to BYU, and the sky is falling. But, as you said, the other teams are pretty good too. And you're not going to win every game. They got spoiled because they were winning, 71 as a matter of fact, winning games. But they play Houston, then they go to UCF, and then they come back and have Bedlam with OSU. So in the next 3 weeks, we will find out if they are falling, back a little bit, or if they just had a slight lull. And I'm thinking more of the lull, because Patty's not going to sit there and let those young ladies fall back too far.
Yeah, and if you go and you look back at Women's College World Series of the past, number 1 teams, say that Tim Walton brought in with Florida, might have 3-4 losses or something like that. But for the most part, you got 5, 6, 7 losses in a season if it's a normal season, and it's not the outlier that OU was with their fantastic streak. So I'm not concerned at all about their challenge for the national championship. It's not guaranteed, but I think they're going to be in the running for it.
I think they will be too. They'll be there, and they'll be in Oklahoma City when it's all said and done. Hey, we are at the Mattress Place on Southwest 59th between Penn and Western on the north side, and you can come in and get a great selection of mattress at a great price right here at the Mattress Place. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from the Mattress Place, Southwest 59th between Penn and Western. Great place, great selection and great prices here at the Mattress Place. And if you want a good night's sleep, come into the Mattress Place and you will sleep well tonight. Also, Prohibition Lounge in Norman. Speaking of OU softball, all the ladies softball games are on at the Prohibition Lounge, as well as NBA playoffs, Thunder games, play-in games, and all the rest at Prohibition Lounge on Main Street in Norman. They got great food, great pizzas, and great cold drinks, and lots of specials on those drinks. So if you're looking for a place to watch OU softball, or women's softball in particular, Prohibition Lounge in Norman's a place to go. Mark, we're going to return back to the Thunder, because it is very, very apparent that the Thunder have a large task ahead of them, and I think it's going to be made more easy or more difficult by who they drop. All right, nobody knows yet. Everybody knows You don't want the Lakers in the first round, but it looks like the Nuggets may draw them. And it may be Warriors, it may be, whomever. But the Thunder are playing well enough, and I'm like Mark Daigneault. I don't think they should fear anyone coming into this into the playoffs.
Yeah, they won't fear anyone. I think that the biggest challenge for Oklahoma City is how our team's going to try to defend them. I would think that Oklahoma City has done so well at getting good shots this season. SGA and J-Dub have high field goal percentages. Their offensive efficiency is really good, and their ability to drive to the basket creates open shots for the rest of the players on the team. Lou Dort's made more threes than any other Thunder player this year. Josh Giddey's definitely going to have a chance to impact games, I think, because he's going to have some open shots. And so shot discipline is going to be important. If the shots aren't there for SGA, teams are going to try to make it tough on them in the mid-range and in the paint. They have to share the basketball well, and I think they've got a good chance to have some success on offense. They're going to have to rebound too. I think that's a big key.
See, and that's, when you're playing a series, when you're playing a best-of-7 series, it's all about the adjustments. Mark Daigneault, who was named by his peers as the coach of the year by the NBA coaches, I think this is going to be a huge part of the playoffs are him making adjustments. Because as you said, all right, say they double Shea and want to get the ball out of his hands. Shea's having to dump. Okay, how do you rotate from that? Who is the one that you're going to go to? J-Dub, or is it Giddey, or is it Dort? Or is it Chet when he comes back in? So I think that is going to be a hidden part of this equation, is Daigneault's manipulation of his lineup. And the second thing is Thunder on defense. The same thing that they're going to try to do to the Thunder need to do to whoever they play and take away their number one option.
Well, that's why experience is so important in the playoffs, is because teams are going to play defense differently than they do in the regular season. And so Chet and J-Dub, who've never really been through a playoff run before, SGA, kind of the same, not much playoff experience, is, all right, what do I need to do now? I mean, if they're doing this where it's affecting the way that we normally play in the regular season, I've got to get out of my comfort zone and do some things and be confident and taking the lead doing that. And we're going to find out. Again, this is unprecedented really in the history of the NBA to have a team go from outside the playoffs to the top spot. Usually you see teams grow through the playoffs and things happen and you get eliminated early on. Michael Jordan and the Pistons, it took them a while to get past that. And so you have those stages in which things go. So again, Oklahoma City, I feel like they're going to be very competitive with whoever they face in the first round, but we'll know a lot more about this team.
We will. And, and the thing about it is that Mark was talking about, Mark Daigneault, that I know you're the knowledgeable coach also, but we'll talk about the coach of the year.
Yeah.
Was talking about he wanted to put his players in positions that it wouldn't be the first time they've seen those positions in the playoffs. And I take my hat off to him, Mark, he was putting them in different positions. He wanted them to feel different pressure. He wanted a different person to have to step up, each night in certain instances. And so I think that might help them. But it's nothing like the playoffs until they actually get into these games and they're playing, 7 games against the same opponent and everybody's making adjustments back and forth. Until you actually see that playoff, you really don't know. And then I think they'll do well, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, pace and tempo are important. Like, for example, if you look at the Pelicans and the Lakers, last game of the regular season, the over-under total 234. First game of the playoffs, 224. 10 points less, basically the same two teams playing. So the Thunder are going to have to play with discipline, and if they can do some of the things in the regular season, like turning over teams, I think we're going to see some of the same results that we saw in the regular season.
Well, and like you said, rebounding is going to be, if they can't get turnovers, then they're going to have to rebound, because that was the trade-off. They're getting turnovers so they don't have to rebound as much in the playoffs. If they're not getting turnovers, then they're going to have to rebound, and I think that may be one of the few shortcomings. But we'll see how they adjust. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I think it'll be a ton of fun, and you can go to all kinds of places to watch, the Prohibition Lounge and places like that to watch these Thunder playoff games. And all of that comes up to, all right, how does it work? I think they get through the first round and into the second round, and if they do that, I think it'll be a successful season.
It's impossible for me to say what's a successful season. If they get swept in the first round, I think that's probably not successful, especially if it's against a team that doesn't have as much playoff experience. But I'd like to see how the second round goes. I wouldn't want to put any limitations on this team. The good news is they've got a lot of guys under contract for the future. One of the youngest teams to ever do this in the history of the NBA.
I found a T-shirt, last night. Western Conference Finals Thunder. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
That's going to do it for this week's Oklahoma Sports Edition from the Mattress Place, Southwest 59th between Penn and Western.